you want to talk about the dam. The reason why the offensive is very important is because now is the time for Ukraine to shine. Let's see what they do. What are their cards? Let's talk about that. Maybe we can go around and asking. I want to ask you guys, where's the best place that you think would have been for the Ukrainians to attack? We already know where they attacked. What is your suggestion, guys? What is a better
before
way
we
to
get there,
invest?
I want to respond to Prata because just now let Samuelon talk first. So what happens is that Prata was saying that the media is afraid that Ukraine have done it. And of course, at this moment, nobody knows. Is it the Russians or the Ukrainians that blew up the dam? The problem is what I mentioned, the reservoir area. That means between the Kakhovka Dam and the Zaporizhzhia Dam, the water level have fallen so much that theoretically you can actually attack across the river. So if the Ukrainians attack across the river, then it's going to be 100% Ukrainian that blew up the dam. That is the problem now. And it looks really tempting because someone has just sent me a video of probably went viral somewhere on online. You can literally just see sandbanks. So it's that low. So
That's crazy.
And before that I didn't saw the video. I saw the satellite images and I already can kind of tell that it's actually pretty low. So if the Ukrainians actually launch an attack there, it may actually give the Russians a lot of problems because redeployment there is a bit far. It's a little bit far to cover another big front line. But the Ukrainians will also get stuck in the mud. So, but I wouldn't say that the dam is a humanitarian issue. I think it's pure bullshit to talk about humanitarian issue because it is a freaking war zone. You know, it's like the UN. There's a UN people going to help over at Kherson, and then I'm not even sure if they are legitimate. And then I think the video complained about, the artillery shelling is unacceptable. It's like, this is a war. What do you expect?
No, it's worse than that. Wait, there are almost no confirmed dead people. It's 7 people from the Russian side, 3 people from the Ukrainian side. People
who
were
died, right?
evacuated a long time ago. There is no humanitarian conflict. Well, I find it here. It's what you said. It's very interesting because if we study the dams upstream, we realize that the Ukrainians actually have the ability to dry the dam. They can just stop them all, and they have a dry river if they want to
for a short period of time. Only for a short period of time because you will flood the upper stream, right? So it's very interesting because the dam issue was that when they blew up the dam, they actually the story was the narrative was that the Zaporizhzhia Dam was actually fully opened up to maximize the water flow. Then now we actually see that the reservoir area is drying up. So there's a contradiction there. So where Pete went? Yeah, so
okay.
Actually, you're muted. Great.
Sorry, can you hear me or not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I didn't mean to open a general can of worms about the humanitarian long-term impact of losing this very valuable asset. I'm just looking at it strictly as within the tactical picture. It changes the battlefield, right? As we know, places you can and now can't attack. And it indicates sort of that vector somehow is important, either as a distraction of troops or of an open, safe pathway to go through, or as a place you can no longer store anything, or as for the poor 10 people that died, an incident of human shields, basically, that got, if they was used as a distraction or if it was used as a shield, then 10 people were shoved in as human shields and died. Like, that's still 10 people. So
without a doubt, you're right.
Looking at it narrowly from that perspective, we have seen dams destroyed in warfare before. The Dam Busters incident in World War II, for instance, it's a tactic in warfare. It's not in itself necessarily a war crime as such, but and most of the people, as Prada says, were evacuated. So leaving that question aside, this certainly is worth a lot of nastier things happen. It's just the sheer economic impact is more the humanitarian side, but Dan asked a good question, which is what would you have done if you were Ukrainian and I would have attacked Transnistria for sure, because it relieves the Russian motive to go for Odessa right away. It may force the Russians to make an unwise and expensive move, and it kind of looks bad if Moldova's taking a piece of Moldova back and the Russians go and essentially, from their narrative point of view, invade Moldova. So I think they could get a good narrative out of that. But if they can't even convince Moldova and Romania to go along with it, then they look insanely weak. Like, to me, this is the end. If they can't even convince Moldova to kick Russians out of Moldova, it's over. So that's what I think the diplomats are concluding, that there is no front, there is no benefit, there is no way to pin out Transnistria or Kaliningrad. They'll never get to Crimea. They'll never get even to Melitopol. There's no strategic objective, and this is just wasting lives. And I think the dam just indicates that if you did that and then didn't even have the force to take Transnistria, and 10 people are dead as human shields, end this thing now. Just end it now on whatever terms. This is just pain for no gain. That's what I think the message that an observer would see here and say.
But Craig, the economical, on the long term, the economic consequences of blowing the dam are huge. But we can talk about that later, because as Dan was saying, we are still on the military consequences.